After months and months, they have finally done it. I'll be sharing with you all the details in this video. Also, what Elizabeth Warren recently said about low-income individuals and what we need to do to help these people out. Again, all of that will be shared in this video, so let's get right into it. Welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video as things are getting very, very busy going forward, and I am here every single day to keep you updated with all of this information and ultimately do anything we possibly can to continue to push Congress to ultimately issue additional stimulus checks to help bridge the gap until they implement some kind of permanent raises to benefits like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, and ultimately just offer more relief for low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries. So, thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. And just remember, I am back every day as your voice, as your daily advocate, and doing anything I possibly can to keep you updated with all of this very busy information that is going on right now. All right, with that being said, thank you once again. Let's jump into this. So yes, it is true, the Senate has finally come forward with the official text that they released last night publicly on this first portion of the infrastructure stimulus package. Now, we have been waiting for this for months and months. Literally, they were supposed to do this like 2 months ago. Well, they finally just got it done now. So this just happened late yesterday evening. In fact, they worked all weekend through this, and they wanted to get this thing hammered out. Again, it was supposed to be done a couple days ago. It was supposed to be finalized. Well, they carried it into the weekend to finally wrap things up. So now they will finally be opening this thing up to amendments, where they expect both parties to come forward and start working their way through some of the amendments on this bill. Now, this bill is actually a very long one, 2,700 pages or more. But here's the thing. This should actually be a relatively quick process because since it is a bipartisan package here, they should be able to work out all of the differences in this thing. Any amendments, they should be able to give them attention and work through them relatively quickly. And then they are planning to hold a scheduled vote on likely Thursday of this week, which will be finally done. It'll be done, we can move on from it, and that'll be done and over with, and we won't have to talk about this first portion of the infrastructure package anymore. That'll be great. We can finally get it done. Now, it is expected that the Senate is going to be staying in session next week as well. Remember, they're supposed to be leaving on their long extended vacation on Friday. Basically, at the end of the day on Friday, they're supposed to be gone. Well, they didn't finish their work, so they need to stay another week. The reason they need to stay is because, well, they need to wrap up all the loose ends on what they're working on currently with this first portion of the package. And then next week, they're going to be moving forward with the first phase of this budget reconciliation process. Now, in order to do that, they need to move forward with budget resolution, which is the first step in this process, which will actually give the instructions and kind of open up the doors for the reconciliation process. Now, that is the big package that we've been talking about for so long now. That is the one that is going to contain so many different goodies. In fact, we don't even know what's going to be in there completely quite yet because we haven't seen all of the proposals quite yet. Everybody's focused on this first portion of the package, which should be ended up here and totally completed within the next few days here. So after that is done, then it's going to be like the floodgates open up and all of these different proposals will be hitting the table as far as what will go into this next package. Now again, we're expecting someone to come forward with a fourth stimulus check, possibly even monthly recurring payments. We've seen talk about reforming programs like Social Security, reforming SSI, raising benefits for all of these people across the board. We've seen so many different proposals. Expanding Medicare, also lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. There's a lot of different things. Also paid family leave. There's going to be expansion of education as far as you can go to college if you want for 2 years for free. There's so much in this next package. That's why we need to continue watching all of this very, very closely. So it's so good that they're finally moving forward with this thing and finally getting this thing done. It was supposed to be done so long ago, but as you know, because we've been watching this stuff for almost a year and a half now, things take a lot longer than they anticipate, right? They say, oh, we're going to get it done by Friday. And then ultimately, a month later, it's like, oh, wait, they haven't done it yet? You know what I mean? So, yeah, things take a lot longer than what they usually advertise to the public. So, anyway, good stuff. We're excited to finally get this out of our way. Then we can move on to the big one that'll ultimately result in so many good things for so many people, low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries. Yeah, this next package is going to be a good one. Elizabeth Warren sent out a tweet saying, Democrats have stepped up to help struggling families, which has cut poverty nearly in half. We can't go back. We must extend and expand these tax credits to offer long-term relief. Now, that is a pretty powerful statement right there. The reason being, let's kind of dissect this thing for just a second. First off, what are the stimulus checks? They are tax credits. That's exactly what they are. Refundable tax credits that they are sending to you in the form of an advance. Now, they also said they need to extend and expand. Now, again, we've talked about this before. They've talked about offering monthly stimulus checks and or guaranteed basic income, all kinds of monthly relief for low-income individuals. Is that maybe what she's talking about as far as extending? Now, here's another thing too. Expanding. Let's talk about that for just a second here. We've also talked about this before. There has been talk about potentially adding in some type of adult tax credit into this next stimulus package. Now, here's the thing. When she says expand, what does she mean by expand? Is she talking about an adult tax credit? Now, again, let me lay this out a little bit more clearly what that actually means. Let me give you a quick reference point. Right now, there are millions upon millions of families, about 40 million families, that are getting child tax credit payments on an ongoing monthly basis. Now, if they happen to implement an adult tax credit, it would be essentially the exact same thing. A tax credit that would be sent out to low-income adults going forward on a monthly basis. In other words, basically monthly stimulus checks on a smaller scale. That's basically exactly what these child tax credit payments are right now also. They're basically just stimulus checks on a lower scale, right? $250 to $300 per month. Well, what if they happen to do the exact same thing for adults, right? Adult tax credits. In other words, monthly stimulus checks at a rate of probably a couple $100s per month. In other words, it's probably the exact same thing as a universal basic income or a guaranteed basic income program. Essentially, it's all the exact same thing, right? Monthly payments going out to a specified group of people for a specified period of time or indefinitely, right? So, we don't know exactly what Elizabeth Warren said or what she exactly means with this tweet right here, but the fact is, she's recognizing the Democrats have stepped up to help struggling families and that they cannot go back and they must extend and expand these tax credits and ultimately provide long-term relief. Well, long-term relief would probably be something a lot longer than just a couple months, right? She's probably referring to indefinitely or at a minimum, probably several years. So, good stuff. What's actually really interesting about this as well, we've seen a number of different people coming out lately. In fact, I've been talking about it in my last few videos here. We've seen a number of people coming out lately saying they need to lift people out of poverty. Well, newsflash for you people. I know all of you recognize this, but I'm not sure if they recognize this. They should know this because we've seen it in so many different reports and surveys and all kinds of research that has come out over the last probably 14 months or so. Stimulus checks are the fastest and easiest ways to lift people out of poverty. We've seen it time and time again. We've talked about it many times. I would anticipate that these people in Congress have probably also seen these reports. I'm guessing so. I know that all of you know about it because we've talked about it many times here on the channel. But we know stimulus checks are the fastest and easiest ways to get cash into the pockets of low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries and ultimately lift them out of poverty for that specified period of time. So here in 2021, it's actually been estimated that the number of people living in poverty has gone from 44 million down to 16 million as a result of the stimulus checks. And basically what they're saying is just one more stimulus check would lift another millions upon millions of people out of poverty this year. So I don't know. I mean, if that is their ultimate goal of lifting people out of poverty, I mean, we know what the recipe is, right? It's just like baking a cake. We know the recipe. You need some flour, a few eggs, a little bit of oil, and you bake it for 45 minutes. And boom, you've got yourself a cake. Or something like that. Don't try that. That's probably not a real recipe, but it's something close to that, right? So my point is, we know the recipe to lift people out of poverty. Why are we not doing it, right? We have the recipe card from Grandma. She sent it over. She said, here, guys, here's the recipe. Let's lift a bunch of millions of people out of poverty. Here's what you got to do. You just got to send out another stimulus check. It's as easy as that. Or as easy as pie, I guess you could say. So anyway, yeah. There's a lot of people coming out right now about this whole lifting people out of poverty, which is actually a really good thing when it comes to all of us here on the channel, because we know, we know the best recipe for this, and we know that ultimately if they want to lift people out of poverty quickly, we know what they have to do, right? And they know it as well. So realistically, it's only a matter of time. So this is good stuff. Another ace up our sleeve. All of these people talking about lifting people out of poverty, ultimately giving more benefits to low income and fixed income beneficiaries. Good stuff. So again, make sure that you are subscribed right down below. There's a lot going on, as I've been saying so many times over the last few days here. Literally, things are changing so rapidly right now. I will keep you updated with all of this new information as it comes out. Thank you so much for your support. Feel free to share this one with your friends, family, social media. Go back and check out any of the other videos right here on the channel. Do whatever you can, but thank you so much for your support. Oh, by the way, I have some interesting videos coming out later. I think you're going to like it. And congratulations, just a little teaser. Congratulations to those of you who I reached out to yesterday. Pretty cool stuff. There will be more coming, another teaser. All right. Anyway, enjoy, and I will catch you again later in the next video. Hope this one helps you out. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video. Thank you. I'll see you later.